Is it Patricia?
Yes.
Middle initial.
S for starship is what it is on my driver's license. Is that what you need?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your mother's middle name too? Or
No,
last?
her middle name was, well, that was her last name, Saoirse.
Okay, so Saoirse was your maiden name, but then you moved it to. Oh, cool.
But on my driver's license, it's Patricia S. because they take the maiden name and just made that the initial.
Okay. And your address is? That's a Cleveland address.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Alright, cool. Alright. That was actually, that's just for my records. That's just for my records. Alright. Now you said you already probated the will, and was it deeded over to you, or is it still in the estate's name?
It's probably still in the estate's name.
So it'll be the estate of
Bernice Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah, Saoirse. And the guy that probated, he said, "You're wrong. You know, do as you wish. It's yours." I feel like the tax people would probably come get me.
So. What I'm doing is I'm just writing the estate. You know what? We're at a title company, so I don't need to fill out 2 copies.
Yeah,
I normally actually fill out 2 copies, but they can make copies after we fill out 1 copy. So we're going to save ourselves some work. We stopped by there today, and I was showing him the outside of the house, and we said $20. How much am I paying for the house?
Oh, I think it was $21.99, wasn't it?
$52,000, correct?
Yeah.
All right, $52,000. Okay, is there anything?
It was a twofer.
It was a twofer.
Because
I get an extra house.
2-car garage.
Oh. Is there anything that's attached to the house that you can think of that I might think I'm buying that I'm not buying?
No,
Okay.
absolutely nothing.
Because some people, I've had people actually say that they're going to take the stove and.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So page 1. That's just your mother's estate, the name of my company, the lot, the block, and the subdivision, and then the city, county, and the actual physical address.
Okay.
That's the purchase price, the cash purchase price. There's no financing, so the total purchase price is that.
Okay.
I put a mark through this financing portion because I don't get financing. And then I'll be putting $500 earnest money here at Stewart Title with Lori Landeros.
Okay.
And at the bottom of every page, we're going to initial. That way nobody does any switcheroos.
Okay. How come you have it in Jennifer's name? In case you sully the company.
Well, Jennifer Rainey Investments is actually the name of the. It's one of our corporations.
Okay.
It's the active investment arm.
P.O. Well, I would have to have initials like that, huh?
P.O.
Yeah.
Well, after the conversation we had earlier, I wouldn't blame you.
Yes. No, I don't plan on taking any appliances or anything like that. And you said, because I remember asking you, how much, when it needed to be, like if I want to take the couch, which
Right. Well, like I said, I mean,
you're talking about appliances
something
that you would
is
normally need to maintain a home.
Right. Something,
Is that
anything
correct?
attached, like ceiling fans.
People would take their ceiling fans.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Mini blinds, curtains, microwave ovens, things that are attached to the house that.
It would definitely look like it was missing.
Right.
Okay. Well, that little microwave oven, I mean, it's no issue because I'm sure it could go out and get one for $49 probably.
Right.
But
is it attached or is it just plugged up on the
No,
counter?
it's just plugged up on the counter.
Well, that doesn't count. You can,
Okay.
yeah, that's.
No.
You know, if it was
But
like
you're talking
built
like
into a
ripping
cabinet,
out the
right.
oven or something?
I'm talking like I've had people take the ovens, I've had people take the stoves.
Yeah.
Now, washer and dryer, that's one thing. You take those, but you know the oven or the stove is expected to convey with the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't get a survey. Hang on, wait, you're still on that page.
Oh, I'm just, no, this is basically what you said it was.
So flip it over so we don't get it confused. Now this page, it talks about the title policy and survey. The title of policy is the insurance policy the title company is going to give me. And I checked that it's at the buyer's expense because like I told you, I'm going to pay all the closing costs. And it's going to be issued by Stewart Title. I marked through the survey because I don't get one.
I think Mother may have survey papers in that lockbox if you want.
If you do, that's great.
Because it wouldn't mean anything to me.
Because a lot of times if they're older than 8 years, nobody wants them anyway.
I'm sure it is.
So, I mean, if you happen to see it before closing, that'd be great, but don't
And
go
she didn't
the wasp
have it.
for it.
She didn't like have it surveyed. I think it actually came with the papers when she bought the house. To be honest.
I'm sure it did. So the most important part is that I'm paying for the title policy, and I'm not getting a survey.
Okay. When you say title policy.
This title company will actually issue title insurance that says basically they'll do all the title research and they'll say, okay, Tim, if you pay $52,000, the house is yours.
And we'll insure it.
Right, and we insure that. So then if like, say someone popped up in California and said, no, I was an heir to that property. I've actually had it where someone forged a deed before. Said that they were an heir and forged the affidavit of heirships. I paid $40,000 for a house, and it took me a year to get the money back. But the title insurance finally actually paid me back. So that's what title insurance is for.
Okay, but as far as the house insurance that's on it now,
That has nothing to do with that.
Okay, because I just
You want to wait till the day you come here and close, and as soon as you close, you cancel your insurance and utilities.
Okay.
Okay, there's not a homeowners association, right?
No.
Okay. That's all on this page. It's just that there's not a homeowners association. I mean, it talks about, you got to remember these are the standard forms. So it talks about statutory tax districts and tidewaters and annexations and all this other stuff. That just doesn't apply to this property. So just a bunch of attorneys down in Austin get paid a bunch of money every year to redo it. Now, under Texas Property Code, since this is an estate, you're not required to furnish a seller's disclosure. I'm accepting the property as is. You're not giving me a residential service contract. Now, closing. What day do you want to go ahead and say we're going to try to close? No later than what day do you think?
I would like to get it resolved, whenever it's...
I mean, today is the 15th? No, 18th.
Oh, wait a minute, let me think. Well, I don't have to think.
Today is the 18th.
Exactly.
You can tell I don't get paid like on schedule or anything.
Do we have enough money for groceries?
Yeah, right. I mean, we could write it for as soon as, let's see, the 27th is a Friday. So we could write it for Monday the 30th if you think you can be ready by then.
When you say ready, you mean have the house vacated?
Have everything out of it that you want.
By the 30th?
Right.
Yes.
Because I can't guarantee, like if I pay for the house on the 30th, the next day there's going to be stuff thrown away and ripped apart. And that's just what we do. We're very methodical about it.
Well, yeah, because you need to recoup your
time is money.
Too. Yeah.
Time is money. So that's less than 2 weeks.
So can I get out by the 30th? Yes.
I mean, well, hang on. That's actually barely 10 days, and that's with Memorial Day. That's actually Memorial Day that everybody's going to be closed. 1, 2, 3. We're going to write it for June 8th.
June 8th.
Yeah. That's exactly 3 weeks from today.
Let me make a note of that on my... I was going to say I don't have my little book. My little book is so junky. You'd think I was in really big business, but I'm very glad.
And you'll notice that the contract says on or before. So, I mean, if everything comes back in and they don't need it, because the title company might have to get copies of the death certificate and copies of the probate stuff.
Yeah, but I'm right straight.
Right. That's why we're doing it here. Because they're going to need some stuff from you, so it's a lot easier to have a place that's close and convenient to you.
Okay, the 8th would be June Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, closing date. These pens are, I mean, they're fine, but gosh, they're thick, aren't they?
Yeah, they bleed a bit.
And her name is Lori?
Yeah, I'm going to give you her card. Lori Landeros. She's the vice president and branch manager. Okay, 254 Linda. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I was just
Big deep sigh.
No, I was just thinking, you have to see me right in a U-Haul. Hey, Joe, get over here. I got some shit.
So this page, you're not required to furnish the seller's disclosure.
Okay.
I accept the property as is. You're not paying for a residential service contract. We're going to close on or before June 8th.
Great.
I love these things. It's fill in the blanks. Okay.
Well, that's the way the attorneys work too. No, they do.
I know they just get to bill you about $300 an hour.
Well, the problem is you do all the footwork and you do all the research and you hand it to them and they just type it down on their computers on their little preforms.
Yeah. So possession.
Yes.
So it's checked upon closing and funding. So I don't get the keys when you come sign. I get the keys as soon as you get your money. Because you'll actually have to come sign and then it'll get faxed to me and I'll have to wire the money and my bank or my investor will wire me the money and it's a bit of sometimes it's like a 24-hour delay from when you come sign to when you get your money. So as soon as you get the money, then you got to give the closer the keys. And then special provisions, I have a lot of them, so we're going to see Addendum A, which is on the back of this. And then you're going to pay $0 of my closing costs. That's where when you sell the house retail, you have to pay like $5,000.
Oh, yeah, and realtor's fee of 6% now.
Oh no, that's on page 10. All right, 254 Linda. 75137. Okay, prorations, that's where, like we talked about, you're going to pay the taxes up to the day of closing. Casualty loss, that means if the house burns down between now and June 8th, I don't have to pay $52 for it. It means that we'll either renegotiate or you can terminate the contract. Default, that just says the next 3 paragraphs say if I don't do what I say I'm going to do or you don't do what you say you're going to do, we're all going to sit down with the mediator and he's going to tell us what we need to do and then the prevailing party will get the other one, the losing party will pay the other party's fees. But in 1,000 houses I've never had to do that. So that's all that page says.
Yeah, I know about the mediation now.
Trust me, I do too. So, I'm writing my address here on page 7. I'm writing my phone number, fax number, and my email address. If you would write your address, your phone number, you probably don't have a dedicated fax number, and then do you have an email address?
Yeah.
Okay, so just your address and...
as little as it is, they could get out and holler.
Right.
On a windy day.
On a windy day. As long as the wind's out of the northeast.
Yeah.
They just get out there and just scream. Now we're going to skip ahead
Okay.
because the last page is the signature page. Okay, do you have any knowledge of lead-based paint in the home?
No.
Do you have any reports saying there's lead-based paint in the home?
No.
Congratulations, you just completed a lead-based paint disclosure. I waive the right to inspect. Today's the 18th. Sign and date where it says seller. That's how hard that is.
Pretty painless.
Okay, this is the Addendum A, also known as the dummy addendum.
This is when you drank, this is what you
Yeah.
right?
This is what keeps me from getting sued because I have to disclose the obvious.
Okay.
Now, paragraph 1 says that my wife's a realtor and a principal in the company, and that we own a brokerage, and we don't represent you in any way. We don't represent us. We don't represent anyone. We're not realtors in this transaction, although we're licensed. Number 2 says that we buy and sell houses below market value for profit. Number 3 says we'll pay all the normal closing costs for both buyer and seller, excluding any mortgages owed, tax liabilities, or real estate commissions agreed between you and a broker. I've had people sell me their house when they had already listed it with a realtor and not tell anyone, and it got
Aren't you
down to
under contract with a realtor? I mean, that was the whole idea.
They,
why I didn't want to go through a realtor because I thought,
Yeah,
we're
you
talking 90 days and I don't know if they're going to
They
move
took
it
the
or
sign
not.
down and hid it behind the house.
You're kidding.
Nope.
And there's no way of checking on that and knowing that?
The realtor hadn't put the house in MLS yet by the time we went and saw it, and so that's the only other way.
Whoa.
So the realtor thought we were trying to go around them, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Ooh.
Number 4 says you understand the house is to be vacant at the time of closing. Anyone still occupying the house would have to be removed by you. So if there's a squatter that moves in there on the 1st,
Let me come get him.
you got to get them out.
Get my bulletproof vest and
I would call the cops, but
Yeah.
Number 5 says
I'm
should
hands-on.
should you need to occupy the property after closing, you would escrow $5,000 with me, and you would sign a temporary lease. I have people that end up saying that they need to close and get the money before they can move, and I'm like, cool, but you're going to leave $500, and you're going to pay $5,000, and you're going to pay me $100 a day until
For
you
a
get out.
day you're there, like
Yeah.
a motel, hotel.
Yeah.
I'm not in the
'Cause
motel
typic-
6 thing.
Because typically what happens is they get the big chunk of their money, and then they just hang around for a little while I'm losing money. But I've had people walk away from the whole $5,000. It's not a bad deal for me. That was number 6. Number
Yeah.
5.
No.
Number 6 says that you're going to provide me with reasonable access to the property prior to closing for insurance evaluations and contractor bids.
Yeah, okay.
And then number 7 says that you authorize me to market and show the property prior to closing. What that is I have different investor partners, and I'm always working on buyers.
So I'll get a heads up though a day or 2 ahead of time so I could be there, right?
That, or what I always recommend is I have these lock boxes, and actually I have one in the back seat of my
I'll
truck.
have put a key in the mailbox or something.
Well, not in the mailbox.
My mother did. Before I had the locks changed.
There's a gray lock box in the back seat of my truck. Would you grab it for me, please?
That only you would have key to, right?
Only I would have the code to it,
Oh.
and I won't give it to you. I drive down there and
No.
escort. Because like I'll get my foundation guy out there, I'll get my painter,
Sure.
I'll get all the bids. Because when we close,
Yeah.
we are lined up and ready to go.
Good.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, and I would take the one. Yeah, I'm like you. I would,
And it's just easier. I mean, instead of you driving 30, 40 minutes
yeah.
and then sitting around for an hour or two waiting for me and my contractors to take the measurements and everything.
Sure.
But what I will do is I'll promise you that no one will ever get that code without
No,
me
I
there.
believe you. I believe you. Besides, those neighbors, I told you, they're very attentive. They call me, like when that rain gutter came off. I mean, man.
What you do is you-
storming like all hell. I said, "Whoa."
When they call you, you just say, "Is there a big black Dodge Ram out front?"
Oh, that's my guy. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
If his name is Tim, holler out Tim, and if he turns around and answers.
if he runs, no. So, and then the last one says, notice to seller, this offer must be presented through your realtor if you have a valid listing agreement. That's the paragraph that the Texas Real Estate Commission made me put in there. on that deal that the realtor complained. The
Well,
realtor
and
complained
you would
against
too.
us.
Yeah, well, you would too,
I
because
would have called and talked to him.
well, you probably would call and talk to him. But I mean,
She never even called. She just called the real estate commission and
but it was actually her client that
went around.
was in the wrong.
But she insisted that we knew, and it's like, no, we didn't.
Well,
But
how would you if you don't see a sign unless you check each and every one of those out? How would you know?
I mean, that's what we tried to tell her there wasn't a sign in the yard. She said it was there. She said it was in MLS. We showed her the day that we had bought it and showed the MLS history that it wasn't there.
And meanwhile, the culprit just got to skate, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing ever happened.
Right.
It was between you guys.
Yeah.
I would have said, you guys should have banded together and said, okay, now you're stuck with it, lady. Neither one of us want it.
This thing is the lot box. That's the combo.
Okay.
That's my birthday. So I can give that to you. We'll write it down for you. Well, you have more than one key, don't you? Or do you only have one?
No, let me tell you. No, there was actually 2 keys. I had to have that lock changed, and I'll tell you why I had to have it changed. Well,
Here comes
no.
the surprise.
No, it's no surprise, actually, if you think about it. Mom, whenever I was gone, like if I left her with the nurse's hospice caregiver or anything, you know, she kept the key in the mailbox. So it occurred to me, my brother, the one's not so happy with the will. Anyway, he says, I'm going to hold you personally responsible for anything that's missing out of this house. Because he, you know, trying to act like a big shot from the table.
Yeah.
The day Mother died, he says, who all has a key to this house? I said, hey, I've been living here the last 6 months. Sure, I do. And then nobody else seemed to have one. I thought, I'll fix that. So I went up to Lowe's and got a lock, and neighbor across the street put it on for me.
Well, cool. So you got more than one.
Yeah, but I don't have the other one with me.
Well, do you have one of them with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you give me one of them, I'll go ahead and
Then
go
all
hang.
I've got to do is remember that. Or we can go have one made.
Open your book.
Yeah, we can go have one made.
Oh, is the other one inside the house?
No, Susie's got it across the street. So I says, if you know, if you see anything, Susie, I
I'm
says,
going to write this right here. And I'm going to go put it on the house right now.
So
on my way back through 67.
all I got to do is do that.
Yeah, it's just
and
like a
then
brief.
open.
It's just like a briefcase combo.
Okay.
You just dial the number in, and then once you get
Great.
let's see.
See, here it is. This is the new key to the front door.
So you just dial that in, you hit that black button,
Dial it in and hit the button.
and it just falls right in your hand.
Okie dokie. Well, I can always go over to Susie. She's got a key.
We'll leave that open.
See, Mother,
What is that?
do that.
Oh, is that a
I've
little
had-
wrench?
I've had that keychain since 1975,
That's
and
cool.
I loved it because I could put it on the back of a door because I was always messing around with my keys and not putting them anywhere, so I just put it on the back of the door. Here, yeah, it just undoes.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Yeah. Yeah. I can do it, I just haven't done it. But I loved it because it had the keys down here.
Look at me.
Yeah, once you unscrew it, you just pull it apart. Once you unscrew it, it. Not very mechanical minded, are you?
I'm very mechanical minded. It should be righty tighty, lefty loosey, but it's righty loosey.
I know, I've had it since the early 70s, and I loved it because
Look at that.
I could get it on the back of my door when I go in the house. Because I used to go to sleep in the apartment and leave the keys in the door. So I thought, well, if I put them on that thing, they're so big and bulky, I'll just slip it on the back of the door and I'll be able to get in.
Isn't that funny? Look at that. It loosens to the right.
Just get it.
And tightens to the left.
Oh, your birthday.
Yes! I hope to get this closed in time for it. No, can't do that by next Friday. Okay, did you sign and date that Addendum A? Excellent. Okay, so that's that, and then here is the. I got the right key, right? Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why, because it's still got the little metal thing.
Ah, yeah,
These are my keys to the shed. Yeah, because this was the old key, but we've since changed the locks.
Okay, So, this is, you'll sign there as a seller.
Oh, just that I did addendum A.
Yeah, the addendum A is just an addendum to the contract, and I always like to take care of all the addendums before we actually execute the contract. Okay, so I'll put the date in here that it's executed, 18th day of May.
Mm-hmm. 9 more days to your birthday.
That's right. And then I'll put everything in order.
You're not like on the Caribbean.
No more Caribbean for me right now. Let's see, page 8.
You'll be thinking of your
And
winter.
page 9. And then the addendum A. And then the lead-based paint.
I didn't even know you could get lead-based paint anymore.
Prior to 1978, it was in pretty much every house. I can almost guarantee you that that house has lead-based paint in it somewhere, and I can guarantee you.
Mother's repainted since then.
Which means it's under.
It's under. Oh, that's kind of like.
It absolutely does not matter at all. It's some stupid rule that's put into place
No,
for
it's not stupid. I
kids
have lung
that
cancer. No,
eat paint.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the arsenic thing. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make a copy, and we are good.